Hi everyone, my name's Paul Caffery. I run a business called TheJobPost. We had 250 corporate or in-house recruiters in this morning, so Keith and I presented to those people, and there's a lot of the stuff that we presented to that audience that sort of I'm representing now, because I think it would be valuable. So what I want to talk about is supplying the best talent through the use of crowdsourcing. So just as a show of hands, how many people have heard of the term crowdsourcing before? Okay, so there's probably about 20% of the audience. I'm going to come on to some examples of crowdsourcing platforms that everyone in this room will have certainly seen, if not use, regularly on a daily basis. So sort of crowdsourcing, when we built the business sort of 2 years ago, it was very much about how crowdsourcing from a consumer-related space could certainly work really well, or we feel efficiently within the recruitment market, and most importantly, how we can effectively connect recruiters, i.e. yourselves, with corporates when they need vacancies, but ultimately they need to acquire talent from yourselves. So I think you've heard enough from Keith, so we'll move on from that. So I'm sure this quote here, everyone will have heard a number of times. In particular, it's used by CEOs often. So people are our greatest asset. And I think probably here, everyone will agree with that as a statement. So then a move towards in-house recruitment. Sort of why? What's the main purpose to move towards in-house recruitment, and in some cases to try and move 100% to doing work without the use of recruiters? Well, there are a number of reasons, and there's a number of positive reasons, but the primary reason is that they're set up with a core purpose to reduce cost and save money. So if you go back to the previous slide, does saving money and actually not using recruiters, for example, does that restrict corporates and in-house recruiters accessing the best talent in the market? And we feel that definitely does, or is in a number of cases, that's what happens. So a company's goal should be to acquire talent at the best price and not the cheapest price. There's a number of companies that I'll meet on a sort of a weekly, monthly basis that will specifically use direct sourcing channels. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot that are out there and there's a lot that are really good. But it's very much focused on which ones, for example, are the cheapest, and certainly some of them, or there's a lot now, where there is no cost at all attached to them. So those clients are going into the market, they're advertising their vacancies in certain channels. But the problem is they're only acquiring talent from those channels as well. So our view is that they're building a shortlist from a number of direct sourcing channels that may not be the best candidates that are in the market. And if we go back to the quote from the CEO, people are the most important asset, surely they should be reviewing every single candidate that is available to them. So before we talk more about sort of crowdsourcing and how it can impact recruitment positively, I wanted to share some sort of facts from a recruitment space, but with a sort of technology emphasis with you. By the way, this didn't work this morning, so hopefully it's going to work now. hopefully that was of interest. So I think that there's two main points that come out of that. I think technology's had a massive influence within the recruitment sector. And also some of the stats there in terms of the size of the recruitment agency space in the UK is also huge. And there's a lot of independents there. So sort of 16,000 agencies, and that's around about sort of 60,000 fee earners. So it's still huge, it's not going away, and all of those 60,000 fee earners are able to provide talent into certain businesses, certain sectors, certain companies, etc. So in crowdsourcing recruiters, we're able to connect, or we feel we're able to connect employers, corporates or SMEs with those recruiters that possess talent for their business in a very controlled manner. So a definition of crowdsourcing, which I'll come on to the example. So crowdsourcing and mass collaboration allows a business to solve problems and tap into talent via the internet using a single platform. This technique enables a business to access information quickly and easily. So if you take that definition, from a recruiter point of view, that would simply be companies being able to tap into that network of 60,000 recruitment consultants into the talent that they possess and actually receive them easily, review them easily, etc. One of the biggest challenges corporates have, the majority, I think, some people think that corporates just say that they definitely don't want to use any agencies at all. It's not so much that, it's just that it's very, very difficult to engage new recruiters when they do have a real quality candidate to present. The standard sort of reasons or typical reasons are procurement, who to go into, whether it be line or hiring manager. And some of the corporates that I meet, they'll have 250 people on a preferred supplier list. Now, to me, that doesn't sound that's particularly preferred. But when you start extending that out into thousands, it's absolutely impossible for them to manage. So by allowing corporates the access to recruiters that possess the talent, irrespective of who that recruiter is, will certainly be massively important to them. So here's some examples. So these are all what I would say consumer-facing crowdsourcing platforms. You'll notice all of them. I'm sure you've used most of them. What you'll notice here, none of these models, so Rightmove as an example, they haven't replaced the estate agency sector. All they've done is they've enhanced it. They've made it easier for the house buyer, the estate agent to connect. The same with TripAdvisor, Groupon. All of these platforms, from a consumer point of view, have actually helped and supported and grown those respective industries. So how does recruitment crowdsourcing work? So there's a few sort of points here. It's a single platform with one contract and a single set of terms that an employer, for example, can set. Thousands of new companies can use the platform on an ongoing basis. Access new vacancies of your choice immediately. Plug in immediately to a company's recruitment supply chain. So one of the main reasons that corporates and SMEs will use us is that from a corporate point of view, they can use a specific or specialist vacancy that perhaps they haven't got delivery through direct sourcing and plug in directly with those specialists that can help them deliver. Only engage on vacancies when you're confident. I think, again, with crowdsourcing, it's all about the choice, the flexibility. So the platforms are always free to actually register and access the information, but then there will be a cost if you decide to pursue that. So it's all about getting as many people using that platform as possible and then actually selecting the opportunities, and in this case it would be vacancies that you're confident to deliver. Clearly, if it's not a role or you haven't got time, then you're not going to engage. It's zero cost of you, the vacancies. Importantly, it's retain 100% of the fee on offer. When we set the business up, there was a company over in the US called Bounty Jobs that work in a similar space, but one of the things that they do differently is that they'll take 25% off the recruiter's fee. We don't believe in that, because at the end of the day, if you own the talent that you're presenting and a select number of recruiters have engaged and paid a small access fee to do so, you should absolutely retain 100% of the fee. And even to extend that, build the relationship up thereafter with that particular client, whether it be a smaller client or a corporate like Vodafone, for example. So this is just sort of an example, hopefully to bring it to life. So a top 10 accountancy and advisory firm, one vacancy that they posted, they had undertaken direct sourcing, so that isn't going away. I was across at the Recruitment Innovation Summit in California about a year ago, and one of the statistics that came out that there were 1,500 direct sourcing technologies within the last 18 months that had come onto the market. That's 1,500. It's absolutely crazy. So that's not going away, but this can certainly complement. 78 corporate finance specialists that were presented with that vacancy, so they could view that, and 4 recruiters agreed to engage. So that doesn't mean to say the other sort of 74 were irrelevant. It just meant that 4 were confident, had the time to deliver, and importantly had the candidates to deliver. A control number of CVs, interviews, and the same process as we all know. That working on a mass scale provides access to recruiters of any size very, very easily. So if I just come on, so there are a few of the current users. I think it's quite important to point out here that we have probably 25-30% of our user base is what I would term corporate, some of the clients or the brand names. But there's a lot of sort of SMEs, as in up to about sort of 5,000 employees that will use the platform as they're starting to build out their recruitment supply chain or evaluate it, etc. So I've got a short animation which will finish the presentation. Apologies, it's slightly cheesy, but hopefully you'll get the message. So. The AV guy obviously knows I've had a problem.
Meet Ben.
Okay.
Ben's a great recruiter with talented candidates. Each one is a gem. Ben is one of many. Very many. All have unique talent. Talent that can make a big difference to a business. Say hi to Kate. Kate wants talented people so that her business can outshine the competition. She works with a handful of recruiters, hopeful of finding the best gems. But those gems could be anywhere in a large crowd, meaning Kate is likely to be missing the very best talent. Ben has the perfect gem for Kate, but it's not always easy to get noticed. It's a problem. How do you find the very best person for every job? This is TheJobPost. It's a platform for recruiters, all recruiters. It identifies which recruiter can supply the best talent. Screened and approved for each vacancy posted, and it's fast. Now everyone is happy. Through one platform, with one contract, Kate can hire the best talent. Ben has made a placement, and a new relationship has been created. Well done, Kate. Well done, Ben. And well done, TheJobPost.
Okay, yeah, so that's the end of my presentation, but definitely championing recruiters with corporates and hopefully getting as many vacancies as possible to share with you guys. Anyway, if there's any questions, we're sort of around during the break, but thanks for listening. Cheers.